बाकी और किसने नहीं दिया टेस्ट? Only these people gave test. अलग अलग गलत है. You didn't give the test. You have not attended knowledge.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
You too have attended the classes. You didn't give the test. Why? फिर ऑनलाइन आया नहीं था टेस्ट. You didn't give the test. You go on the test. You didn't give the test. No, I'm asking you. About first question किधर किधर गलत है? Second, third, fourth सारे में गलत है. हैं? None of the above. क्यों? लिखे after the above mentioned statements are incorrect. पहली correct है? फिर? East India Company asked the Nawab to reduce his army. Correct or incorrect? Correct ना? फिर एक गलत क्यों है? सारे ने गलत किया है. इसका आंसर यही है. फोर्थ द ए है. ठीक? ऊंची बोलेगा. फोर्थ द ए ही है. ठीक है, फोर्थ ए ही है. फिफ्थ सही है. छेमा सिक्स्थ छेमा क्यों गलत है? इचके औखा से इन्ना सौखा क्वेश्चन. सेवेंथ द की आंसर है. डी आंसर है. एट्थ किधर गलत है? की एच की गलत है. फिर पहला भी क्या था ना, लास्ट टाइम क्या में नहीं किया सीगा कितना टाइम बड़े सीएस टेस्ट
और नॉट करेक्ट बढ़िया से
फिर
183 था कि दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट.
ए आंसर 1 and 2. Which of the following is not correct? The revolt of 1857 spread to whole of British India. No, it is false. Lord Dalhousie was Governor General of India during 1857 revolt. False. 9th, 10th.
9th आ रही है जेड़ा वीडियो बैटरी का ऑप्शन.
So what does it teach you? I told you the last time also, the moment you get a new information, you have to add it in your notes. मैं ऐसे करके options पाएंगे so that you do your homework. Yes. 10th, 11th. 5 ਦਾ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ, 2 ਹੀ डिस्कस ਕੀਤੇ हैं. 13वें ਤੇ ਆਉਣ ਲੱਗੇ नहीं गप्पा मारी ਜਾਂਦੇ. 12th 13th 13th क्यों गलत है? 14th the 15th लिखवाया थी ना मैं? कि कर्जे को तो लग गया पढ़ा रहा है मैं कर्जे को लग गया Yes, we will be doing the last topic today, that is public policy. Yesterday we did, yes, Tushar, I have admitted it, his internet connection is weak. कल सीगी लास्ट हैं ते हुन तो ये
स्टार्टिंग से
उनकी बहुत अच्छी तो मैंने ऑनलाइन am I audible? आगे सारे?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yesterday we talked about development processes. And under this we discussed NGOs and self-help groups. There are a few topics left. You can leave 2 pages of your notebooks because इसकी हम ये next class में करेंगे. Just little bit of theory, you just simply have to write it and there is nothing to understand. Okay. So leave 2 pages of your notebook for their definitions and we will begin with public policy. This is entirely a new topic and the last topic of your. What's funny? What's so funny? Okay, so we will be doing public policy. Okay, so lately we have been discussing that civil servants are responsible for the implementation, formulation, and evaluation of public policy. But what is a public policy? What is a public policy? And also here we will do the definition of the word public. It is very important for us to understand here right now and today that whatever the government does will fall under public policy. There are many policies in general, policies, programs, acts, etc. But if the word public is there, then it means it has been sanctioned by the government. Clear?
Yes.
Ma'am. Ma'am. क्लास में कोई आया है, प्लीज एंटर कर लो, मैसेज आया है ग्रुप में.
कोई नहीं हैगा. Aranya is there, Jyoti is there, Manpreet, Ritika and Tushar. Who else is there? I can't see. Who has messaged Jyoti?
मैम नाम नहीं है उस पे.
मैम मैंने किया था मैसेज.
Okay. I told you few other words also public. नहीं, public trust or confidence. Now I have told you the meaning of the word public. So what does it implies? The trust between whom? The government and the citizens. That is public trust. Trust, if you single-handedly talk about this word, the trust can be between you and me also, between your parents, siblings, etc. But when we talk about public trust, it means the trust between the government and the citizens. When we talk about the public policy, it means a policy that has been framed by the government. Clear? What else word I told you having public as a prefix? Huh? Public? Sorry? Public opinion. No, there is no. That is a general public opinion, opinion of the public. Okay, so let us start with public policy first. Now, public policy is a document. It is very important that you have to now begin understanding the definitions also. It is a document which is thoroughly prepared by whom? Hmm? Who said government? You said? Who said government? Someone said government. Come on. That is the correct answer. Government. A document sanctioned or having the authority of the government. This is the correct answer here. Now you have to understand that public policy is not framed in a single day or by a single person. It has an entirely a scientific, you can say, a process that is followed in framing a policy. When I will teach you that, then you will understand the concept of public policy also. Now, first of all, let us take a comparative analysis of your preparation also. When you first thought of, clearing civil services or taking coaching of it, what is the first thing that you did? What is the very first thing that you did? Very good. You saw the pattern. Then ते वो जी आ गया ना पैटर्न सिलेबस देखा इंस्टीट्यूट देखे शक्ल देखी बंदे देखे और
नोट्स में
only notes बना लेंगे कैसे notes बनाएगा ऑलरेडी है okay let's say you formulated a plan that you will do coaching.
Yes.
Then you started coming to classes. Then you started taking notes. And then, which all of you are not doing, is consolidation of notes. And then is your test, which all of you are failing almost. And then there is execution, that is the day your result will come, that you will actually give the exam. Then there will be evaluation, that is the result came. For example, unfortunately you didn't clear, and then you will revise your strategy again, see where you faltered. Now this same pattern is also applied in public policy. The very first step in framing a public policy is agenda setting. Agenda setting. Now, what is an agenda? You have to understand here that when government is operating, it is not operating at a very small level. It will never frame a policy for a handful of people. First of all, it will check that where the scenario of the country lies. Let us say today we are facing a lot of problem on healthcare infrastructure, and we direly need new policies which can help in enhancement of our healthcare infrastructure. True?
Yes, ma'am.
At the same time, we are also witnessing that education is lacking in India. Then always and every time we are always concerned about poverty. The government will see these things that these are the issues that are prevailing in country. Now, what will they see? Healthcare has different things. Healthcare not only includes hospitals, doctors, infrastructure, medicines, research and development, etc. Then the government will see under this heading, in which subheading we need a policy at the priority level. Now, for example, let's say right now we need a policy, a very strong policy on R&D in healthcare. Otherwise, also we are lacking in R&D. Okay, we do not have genuine patents. We always fall short of it. So we are not even devoting 0.1% of R&D in healthcare. Then what will be the scenario? Now in these times, the government will say COVID is here. What you do is frame or search the genesis of the virus and then formulate a vaccine accordingly. Do you know how vaccines are developed? Do you know the types of vaccines? Do you know the working of vaccine? You have studied biology, you said. It is a pseudo infection that is given to your body. All of you who have been vaccinated, it is pseudo COVID-19 virus only injected in your body, which will ultimately help your, we have immune systems and we have memory systems. The first shot or the first, thing, first interface is called as primary response. Okay. I am forgetting this word's expansion right now. Then your body learns that this type of virus, all of you must have had fever when you got your first dose of vaccine, fever, body aches, etc. Because your body recognizes that something foreign has entered into your body. Okay, then you will respond to it. You will have fevers, shivers, body aches, etc. Then over the course of time, it has been seen that the chances of catching infection even after first dose of vaccine has been reduced. Now on your second dose, you might feel less complications than you had the first. This is a very, very beautiful process. You should see it on YouTube instead. It is a case study of polio virus vaccines. How the polio was eradicated, not eradicated completely, but to a certain extent, how all the researches happened, etc. Coming back. So agenda is not here a simple, word here. It means a lot of things. It is not a plan. It is not a schedule. It is an agenda. Agenda to solve bigger problems that are happening in the country. You please first of all draw a diagram, okay? या फिर पहले मैं बोल public policy is a proposed course of action of a government within a given environment providing opportunities and obstacles which the policy aims to utilize and overcome to realize a given goal. to overcome to realize a given role. These are the steps involved in policy formulation. बन गया? मैम एक की साथ ज्योति थी उसको मैंने कर लिया ऐड। तुषारी से बन गया? पॉलिसी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। ठीक है, फर्स्ट वन की एक्सप्लेनेशन लिखो। फर्स्ट वन, in the first stage of policy making, a problem or a challenge that impacts the public, is identified. Solutions are put forward. By interested parties. Both inside and outside of the government. Clear? Okay, so once the problem has been identified, I have made you write that solutions will be proposed. Now, how the solutions will be proposed? It will be formulated. Yesterday, I told you the process now, how it happens. That the minister will tell the cabinet secretary, and then he will further delegate the authority to frame the policy. You were also there, na? New ones? Right? Okay. So this is what that happens in policy formulation. Okay, this happens at all the levels. That is the legislature, the executive level, at both the levels. Here you also have to understand that there is a considerable difference between formulation and adoption. Formulation is simply a piece of document, and that's it. And when it comes to adoption, adoption means that a decision that you have taken is agreed. For example, here it was a farm bill and now it became an act. This is the difference between formulation and adoption. Formulation means so you simply make a policy. Adoption means whatever policy you have made, now you will make it accepted in the legislature and then you will implement it. Who will implement the policy? The civil servants. Who will frame the policy? The civil servants. When we will do the policies or the challenges here, we will realize that implementation and formulation both are being done by civil servants, which overlaps. Clear? Now, after the policy has been implemented by the civil servants in their respective districts and the necessary benefits or the desired objectives are met, then it is evaluated. Who evaluates public policies? Any idea? No? No? Okay. Niti Aayog. Evaluation. The civil society organizations will evaluate the public policies. Because government has made the policies, the government itself will start evaluation. Do you think any faults will come out? The government does evaluate its public policies, but to not a very transparent manner. Got it? The evaluation is done by independent organizations. For example, being run by civil societies, NGOs, etc.
Niti Aayog also evaluates sometimes.
Niti Aayog does not evaluate. Niti Aayog basically takes the data from these people only and publish it.
When sometimes if fault is there, then Niti Aayog also tells that this policy has some fault.
Exactly. Yes.
That's the evaluation.
That is the evaluation thing, but I am saying that the sole purpose of Niti Aayog is not evaluation. These organizations does their job. They have the data with themselves. Then Niti Aayog will take the data from them and publish it. It is their work. If the government will single-handedly say that yes, we are doing great, it is not going to work now. They have to show that हमें भी कुछ कमियां हैं. Clear? And then when evaluation has been done, can you see why I have not connected it and it is disconnected? Because the revision is not done. You got me? See, here evaluation is done. Evaluation will have two aspects, the positives and the negatives. Positives, very good, okay, you will great, but what for the negatives, what will you do? Do you have a solution for them? Can you correct them? Can you revise them? That is why I have written revised, and I have made a breaks in the line because it is not done. Ideally, it should be done to complete the circle, but it is not done. This is another flaw, another challenge that we face in framing public policies. Then this challenge that we have overlapping of functions, and then we do not revise our policies according to the exigencies of time. The National Education Policy of 2020. Do you know before this which was operating of which year? 1986 or 87, I don't know, but you have to see the conceptual difference that lies here. Almost 30-40 years, but the policy has not been revised. And 40 years is a long period of time, isn't it? But the revision is not done. Although the government has come up with progressive pieces of legislation also, this is one of them, the new education policy, because the kind of skill, the kind of education that we have, it does not meets the requirement of a job. Had you guys been taught properly in your schools, you would not have required coaching to clear this exam. Isn't it so? All of you have read NCERTs in schools also, but you are doing it again.
Yes, ma'am.
But with another mindset, another perspective. That is why we have education, we have schools, we have institutions, but that very particular education is not preparing the students for the required jobs. That is why we have also been, in this talking a lot about vocational education. That simply prepares students for getting ready to work in their schools itself, which will also enhances their skills, and they will not need to do any kind of certified course. Clear? Clear? Now please write down the expansion of these. Second, the policy makers in the legislature, and the bureaucracy takes up the issue full stop. They create legislative, regulatory, or programmatic strategies to address the problem. Clear? Third is policy adoption. Policy makers formally adopt a policy solution. Usually in the form of legislation or rules. Usually in the form of legislation or rules. Next is policy implementation. The government and the civil servants begin the job of making the policy work by establishing procedures, by establishing procedures, comma, writing guidance documents, or issuing grants in aid to other governments, issuing grant in aid to other governments. Next, policy evaluation. Policy analysis inside and outside. Policy analysis inside and outside. Government determine whether whether the guidelines are addressing the problem and whether the implementation is proceeding well. Trust is a dangerous game. Your t-shirt says that trust is a dangerous game. Public trust लिखवा लो पता लग गया सिविल सर्वेंट से इंस्पिरेशन नहीं नीचे लिखता whether implementation is proceeding well. लिख ले. Now next paragraph लिखो. They may recommend revision of the policies. Comma, agenda setting, comma, formulation of policies and its implementation, but this is missing in India. Next is the nature of public policy. Nature of a public policy. Now, very first nature of the public policy is that it is a goal oriented. It has some specific objective to achieve, right? And in order to achieve that objective, the guidelines are framed accordingly. Whatever policy will it be, let's say we want to bring education reforms, then we will do all the groundwork where we are lacking, and then we will accordingly frame that this needs to be done. Clear? That is known as goal orientation in public policy. Next is dynamic. Now I told you that in the procedure of formulating a public policy, what are we lacking? We are lacking revision of the public policies. Ideally, public policies should be dynamic. That if some public policies operating in 2020 and over a period of time, the same policy will not work in 2040, we need dynamic revisions. We need change. Then it's collective actions. Now, what is meant by collective actions here? Very good, very good. That is not only the government is responsible for the implementation of public policy, but the citizens actively play an important role. How many of us, participate in the process of governance? Very few of us. You know, na, the Chandigarh administration has put up the concept of cycles there and all. There are electric as well as there manual. Na? You know, almost, I don't know how many of them have been stolen. How many of them have been, खराब कर दिए, उसके चक्के चुक्के सारे जाम कर दिए, तोड़ दिए. We are missing out on responsible citizenry. Now, when we talk about nature of public policy being positive or negative, is this that sometimes we want to promote something and sometimes we want to curb something. We want to promote sanitation and we want to bring down let's say the number of female feticide, maternal mortality, etc. Okay, so this is it. This is nothing complicated. You can simply write these heads only. This is the nature of a public policy. Okay, features are different. इसमें लिखवाने की तो नहीं जरूरत. दिस इज सेल्फ एक्सप्लेनेटरी. प्लीज कमल. ऋषभ की नहीं, क्या नहीं लिखवाऊं, बच्चे रहने. Now we will write features of public policy. Now, in features of public policy, the very first thing that you have to understand that it is very complex. Why it is complex? I gave you the example of contract farming. Relate to that and tell me why it is complex.
एक्सप्लेन नहीं
क्या?
सबको नॉलेज जैसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फार्मिंग होगा. डिवाइड स्मॉल स्केल और फार्मर्स.
Why it is complex? You are all right, but there is I told you there is a priority list in which you have to list your points. You are missing the number one. Online. Ritika, Tushar, Manpreet, Aranya, tell me why public policy is a complex process. लास्ट संदीप बताओ, थोड़ा सा सोचो. बहुत यू आर ऑल आर वेरी नियर. थिंक ऑन इट. ये तुम लोगों के इंटरव्यू है, बस इतना टाइम भी नहीं मिलना. जल्दी से रुक जा, बाकी सारे भी सोचो. हाँ जी, loud. Specific किसके लिए? आप तो वो एक्सप्लेन करने लग पड़े ना, एग्जांपल आपका एग्जांपल एक्सप्लेन कर, मैं वो नहीं पूछ रही, मैंने आपको उसकी एग्जांपल देके एक चीज बताई थी। You know, if I tell you, no, you will feel that you are the dumbest of all. और नहीं यार, it is a complex process because there is a tussle between the government and the civil servants. The civil servants does something else and the government follows something else. You are about to tell this? Okay, so you are leaving you, everyone is dumb, I would say. It is a complex process. You have to think who is framing public policy and who is ultimately adopting and making it acceptable. There is a considerable gap between them, which makes it more complex. Number one, whatever rest of the points you have said, it is fine. Diverse nation, no unity can be achieved. There are diverse interests also. Then resources are inadequate. That is also true, but the very first point that is missed out is simply this thing. Public policy formulation job has been given to the civil servants. But whenever they come up with some legislation, often a time there is tussle because the government does not want some specific points. And since the government is the boss of the day, they will make it acceptable or not acceptable. Clear? A very important thing. Second feature is that it is dynamic. I have told you already. Third feature, it is welfare oriented. लिखना है देखिए public policy is futuristic. That if we will implement new education policy 2020, then the school children by the means of vocational education will directly enter into jobs. We are thinking that this will happen or can happen, which means it is futuristic. Uses resources judiciously. Results in action. What is results in action? Explain. कुछ एग्जांपल देके एक्सप्लेन करो. Take example of any public policy and tell me how it will be resulting into action or how it will bring results.
मैम इसमें ये है कि जो भी पब्लिक पॉलिसी होगी उसकी ग्राउंड लेवल पे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन भी दिखनी चाहिए.
ग्राउंड लेवल पे इम्प्लीमेंटेशन क्या?
मैम जैसे रिजल्ट्स इन एक्शन बोला ना आपने, ये कि मतलब जो पब्लिक पॉलिसी फ्रेम करेंगे वो ग्राउंड लेवल पे भी उसकी एक्शन दिखे कि वो काम कर रही है.
सही है
मैम. तो वो जो स्वच्छ भारत अभियान था वो आ सकता है इसमें?
हाँ बिल्कुल आ सकते हैं. वेरी गुड.
इसमें पीडीएफ में पता चल
You can do anything. Every policy that is framed is resulting into some action only. Good or bad is another thing that will come under evaluation aspect. Then next thing is wider consultation. Does India follow this in policy framing? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Dipanshu? Now? Not at all. What about percentage? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. 1/3. Very smart reply. 1/3. You know 90% hota hai. Yes. You have to see wider consultation not only involves people but other stakeholders, doctors, engineers, scientists to frame some policy. They all give their opinion in framing a public policy. But the only thing that is missing is on the part of people. That whatever suggestion these people give, first of all, the government will not bother to ask them. God forbid, you know, एक दिन उन्होंने पूछ भी लिया कि ये बता दो कैसे करना है, तो उन्होंने अपने my.gov.portal पे अपने suggestions दिए. Do you think they will be implemented? Most unlikely. Consultation is done and approximately 90% is done, but what is missing is on the part of the people's participation, which is very fairly present in Scandinavian countries. Only Scandinavian countries, not even in developed countries. Am I clear till this point? Do I need to explain these? Okay. The next heading is types of public policy. जब मैं साथ साथ में लिखती हूँ लिख लिया करो. Right, repeatedly. Now substantive means which are of general awareness and general importance. Like the policy is framed in the sectors like health, education, infra, environment, etc. General policies being framed on substantive areas. General. What is meant by distributive policy? Distributive. Give example. You just spoke. Distributive means there is a section of society which is marginalized, underprivileged. What are the marginalized sections of society? No, I'm not. Tell me the vulnerable groups or marginalized sections of society. Huh? हाँ मैं तुम एक दिन वो करवाएंगे से किया ना कि ये कैटेगरीज कॉल कर लेने वाले सेक्शंस who are they? कौन है? हाँ Okay, one. Next. Yeah.
women,
Women, children, thing, four. तो सोने का क्लास इसी करके वो है जब मैं फीवर लग अच्छा अच्छा यार चेंज कर लो भी कर लो मैंने चेंज कर लो सॉन्ग नहीं है हैं और जो तीन दो अच्छा वेरी गुड चलो और दसो व्हाट एल्स ओल्ड एज है यस हां डेफिनेटली एबल्ड और what about SC ST OBC backward class minority is something minority is a group na minority is not vulnerable section of society yes clear what I was telling so now there is a section of society which needs an affirmative action from the government because do you think that all people sleep with a filled stomach no that is why the government brought in PDS then I told you it was converted into TPDS what is the meaning of T here I explained you yes targeted PDS all these examples comes under distributive policies you will understand distributive justice and quality there is a word then redistributive now tell me here it was distributive by coming here we became redistributive new people listen to me this for this example very carefully there is a scheme run by the government called as public distribution system you know it are you aware of it okay are you aware of it PDS you no okay it is a public distribution system under which the government gives ration wheat rice dal वगैरह सब कुछ to the BPL families okay now it was seen over a period of time that the target section was BPL families but what happened that at the ration shops the people they themselves kept the ration and used to sell it on the general price where it was meant to sell them free of cost to BPL people they refused simply kept it with themselves and started selling at a price to the normal people that is why this problem was identified and then the government came with the new scheme called as targeted PDS in which blue cards were given to BPL families now what these blue cards ensure number one if you belong to BPL family you must be given a blue card you cannot be denied if you are denied you can go to authorities and complaint can be registered this is there the provision is there once you get a blue card you go to the shop he cannot deny you ration clear this is known as redistributive justice because we already have policies which are doing fairly good for the people you know there was a case study that was done by some women organization about the ये उनको मिलता है ना benefit 5,000 rupees they get when they are pregnant they have to use it accordingly in their मतलब कि डिलीवरी से पहले और डिलीवरी के बाद उसको यूज करना होता है so it was seen that money was used by the BL member for his general expenses the money was can you see the problem that I'm going to tell you the people the very poor people the very poor people of the society they are not enough educated. All the sole purpose of their life is earning something to eat. What used to happen with the beautiful women was this thing, that she was made pregnant over a course of time only to get the money a number of times. The problem is understood here?
Yes.
It affects the maternal health.
Yes.
It puts a toll on her health, on her physical capabilities also. The moment she becomes pregnant, in the later months of her pregnancy, she cannot do even the household work. And this is how the poverty breeds, the cycle comes in. That is why, to cure such things, redistributive policies have been brought in. To cure the malaise that is happening. Clear? Now this is regulatory policies. Tell me an example of regulatory policy. हाँ जी. Tell me an example of regulatory policy. Very normal. Regulatory. वो तो इसमें आ गया ना, general. Who regulates money in India? Simple. Regulation is done in which sector? Commerce, industry, business, banking. Hence, regulatory policies. RBI is the best example. LIC is another example in insurance sector. Huh? SEBI आ सकता है, trade and exchange. Is there SEBI now? Do we have SEBI now? Now, when we talk about capitalization, the capitalization policies are very recent. It is a very recent phenomenon. Now, capitalization means that you give insurance to people. You capitalize them. You give them the money. Okay, this is यार जो तुम 10,000 रुपए मिलना सी स्कीम च आयुष्मान भारत नहीं no. There was some scheme I am forgetting it. Capitalization means that you give insurance cover to the people. You capitalize them. You infuse them with money. Clear? These are the four types of policies. Write down substantive policies about the general policies and about general issues prevailing in country, for example, health, education, etc. Clear? बस ठीक है बढ़िया सारे मैंने लिखा. Next is distributive are meant for specific segments of society. Meant for specific segments of society. For example, PDS, social insurance, vaccination, food relief, etc. हाँ जी. Midday meal. Redistributive policies are concerned with rearrangement of policies. And to cure the shortcomings of the policy. Regulatory, they are concerned with regulation of trade, business. They are concerned with regulation of trade, business, public utilities, commerce, banks, etc. done by organizations like RBI, SEBI, LIC, etc. Then capitalization. Under this policy, financial subsidies are given to state and local government. Financial subsidies are given to state and local governments.
For only states and local governments for like small scale workers or startups.
You can say, you can write n number of headings. For example, the migrants. What are your hobbies, by the way? Hobbies. Badminton. That's it. Okay. Yours. असली वाली बस सही हो गई थिएटर यू डू थिएटर वेरी गुड कहाँ पर पीयू सीयू चंडीगढ़ वैसे ब्यूट फेस्ट वगैरह पे आए हो कभी थिएटर गए हो You have not been here. Yours, sir?
Sports.
Okay. Which sport?
Huh? Online gaming.
Online gaming. They are called as free sports. E-sports. E-sports. Okay. My God, adding E here. Yours, Dipanshu? Shut them up. नहीं पूछा तेरिया हीरो हॉबी नहीं कोई बल्ले कुछ भी नहीं करता घर जाके टाइम नहीं मिलता जो टाइम मिलता सो की करना छोटा होता क्या लास्ट ऋषभ what are your hobbies huh trekking oh my god too adventurous Thodiya Sandeep what about you no hobby नहीं है हाँ जी मूल कोई है ना what are your hobbies
अभी नहीं है पहले ड्राइंग स्केचिंग वगैरह
अच्छा you do sketching and drawing brilliant चलो coming to girls starting from Pallavi such a predictable hobby yours Gurpreet traveling which is the last place you visited Manali no hobby इतनी और करनी है कुछ तो कह रही कुड़ी वाली कहनी craft work listening to music very good listening to music interviews na gayi hai wo listening to music is not a hobby painting what do you paint like colors कौन से यूज करते हो genre crayons no hobby you sing oh my god we will make her sing one day singing and reading novels
either like traveling or I write.
You write what do you write
Articles.
मेरी बहुत है involved है, वो कुछ करनी है. I have a genuinely a lot of hobbies. I am a very, inquisitive person. So I'll keep trying on new things. Like there is no constant hobby, yes, but definitely there are few. For example, reading books, but I don't read novels. I read motivational books, then biographies, autobiographies, and basically non-fiction. And other than that, fitness. These are my constant hobbies, and I add new every time. I paint also. Then I do theater also. I read news. That is not a hobby. That is work. That is work. That is work. Lately, my new hobbies or my new found interest is in being assistant director. AD, you understand AD? There's a director and there are ऐसे वो हम खड़े होते हैं ना वहाँ पे ऐसे take one shot one try to. I told you na Neeraj Kumar Khaki Files, a series is under production.
Yes, ma'am.
My friend is producing it and I am the assistant director. अच्छा, you said me ना कि इंटरव्यू में बताने वाली हॉबीज बताओ. Don't play with them, okay? You have to tell them genuinely your hobbies. Okay, I will tell you. My friend who is rank 1, Upinderjeet Kaur. So she was asked this question in the interview, ma'am, what are your hobbies? She said, I have no hobby. That is also a very fair and genuine reply that I have no hobby. Okay, fine. But you should have hobbies because you learn from different things a new skill, a new insight. Just as you meet new people and you learn something new from them, similar is in the case of developing hobbies and listening to music, eating food, cooking food. They are not hobbies.
She is very close to my hometown.
Okay.
So I went to see her when she came and one more from my house.
Okay.
So the only genuine thought that she gave me was she said, please develop hobbies. She said, when I attended you very good after, so I am very proud.
Yes, because she talked to me about that also. That I have no hobby, and Cyril आता कहते मैं interview. I have come to know only after the result, not before that. Although she's a university graduate, but we never met. We never crossed our ways. I never saw her. There were other people also in the similar marriage list, which I never saw, and they told me we saw you a number of times. We crossed our ways a lot of time in university, but I said no. Brisk walking is my other hobby. I like walking than preferring any other conveyance. I walk to my gym. When I was in college also, I used to walk only to go to 35 sector food market. Whatever nearby places I can walk, I do walk. Cycling is my hobby. I told you the story of my foot now that I got a ligament injury. Cycle उतार रही थी जिम जाने वास्ते पौड़ियां तो दूजी मंजिल तो उत्थे डिग गई थी. Anyways, you have to develop hobbies genuinely, not that ki fancy. It should look fancy in your interview. No. If you are right, if you have the hobby of writing, please do a research, a lot of research. If you say that I have a hobby of writing, then what do you write? Let's say I write poems, then what sort of poems? What genre? I asked her painting, which colors? What medium? What type? Because painting is of different types. Portrait painting, landscape painting. It differs, okay? Sketching is also It's very wide. I don't know about esports. Esports is a hobby. I have to check on it. Esports. Competitive. Playing PUBG is competitive, develops competitive abilities in you. No, I am asking a genuine question. I have never played online games. Lest it was lockdown and all of us played to do online. Huh? Career. What is the career? I don't know. Like, huh?
Organization hire कर लेते हो players को.
टूर्नामेंट्स होते हैं.
अच्छा. Okay. So is it back in India? I am not aware of it. Huh?
With new name BGM.
With what?
New name BGM है battleground India. PUBG का नाम चेंज करके
अच्छा. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ we are 3 sisters. I am the eldest one. ਮੇਰੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਭੈਣ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੇਲਦੀ ਹੈ PUBG. The moment I'll call her, ਜੱਪੂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ PUBG ਖੇਲ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਕਰਿਓ. अच्छा ऑनलाइन वाले तो पूछा ही नहीं. Ritika, what are your hobbies?
I'm making possible best out of waste.
बहुत पारी हॉबी है. बहुत पारी हॉबी है. Making best out of waste. What is the latest best that you made out of waste?
मैम फ्लावर पॉट एंड एक बड़ी सिनरी जो दीवार पे लगा सकते हैं.
तू करेंगी कुछ 200 नंबर होंगे इंटरव्यू च. तुषार, what are your hobbies?
I like playing outdoor games.
And Aranya?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
You don't have any hobby?
I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I like reading novels, and then I work for animal welfare, and I write too.
You work for animal welfare.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you been associated with any of the organization?
Not yet. I'm a volunteer, individual volunteer.
Okay, you are
But, I have
volunteering
contact.
it on yourself only.
No. I have contacts with NGO, so I'm a local volunteer here in Deravati, and there is no NGO. So we are working to make our own NGO. In most probably in next 2-3 years, we will have our own NGO.
Okay. Can you tell me any of your thrilling adventure in rescuing some animal or anything that of that sort you done?
There hasn't been much, but I made shelters. There was, I made shelters and I have done some fostering,
Okay.
but not much of killing what I've done.
Very nice. A good hobby. Manpreet,
Thank you.
what are your hobbies?
Traveling, ma'am. Traveling.
Traveling. My hobby is also traveling. 16 to 8 जाना भी है. ठीक है? Traveling. की किताबा?
Types of words.
Public policy in India. Okay, so there is a history of developing public policies in India. So this is the year that transformed it all when we got freedom. Before that, there was no proactive policies being followed. It was just that the Britishers wanted to gain profits in country India. Now after independence, the sole focus of a public policy was economic growth. Because it was thought that if we will grow economically, all our rest of the problems will be solved. Be it social, be it political, etc. The sole focus was on economic growth. And what was brought in? The 5-year plans. After this, what? What did we brought in for agriculture? Green Revolution. And hence, this is how we ensured food security. But is it enough? No. Why? Why it is not enough? और भी बहुत एस्पेक्ट्स हैं, वो तो मैंने लिख दिए, बता दिए, इकोनॉमिक, सोशल, पॉलिटिकल. व्हाई इट इज नॉट इनफ? It is not enough because inequality is there, still there. Not only we are talking about 1960s or 1970s, but we are talking about 2021. How many of years have been passed being independent nation, and yet we have not been able to be a equal society. Inequality is still perceived, is still there, no matter how much economically we have grown. We are trade surplus with a country like US. It might speak volumes of our economic strategies, but at the social front, we are lacking. And hence, we had the need of reorienting this strategy, and we have to develop our focus on multidisciplinary actions. Now, what are multidisciplinary actions? Multidisciplinary action says that not only political development is there, should be there, not only social development should be there, not only economic development should be there, but also sustainable development should be there. If we have sustainable development, then it will be ensured that everything rest follows from sustainable development. How many of you do online shopping? Almost all of us?
Yes.
Either things. How many of you do apparel online shopping of clothing, clothes? सारे करते हो almost कभी ना कभी तो मंगाया खुद किसी ने किसी ने कुछ. How many of us does bother to check whether that app or whether that brand we are choosing to bring clothes is sustainable enough? None of us, even I don't. सही है, सही बोल रही हूँ. Sustainable development. The story is very, grim when we talk about clothing and fashion. It is very grim. Whatever clothes we are wearing right now, do you think they are made in proper environmental conditions, or are they sustainable? Achha, how many of you have heard this word? What does it mean?
Plant based.
Okay. Online क्या बोला?
Plant based.
Plant based. Your statement is correct. anything that is free from animal cruelty. This does not mean that you eat plant-based food. No. This means that you do not consume, wear, eat, follow thing that is made from animal. Once, I and some other people were sitting, and there is a girl in my group only. She said and that I am vegan, and she was wearing leather shoes and was having a leather bag. We don't do our researches that what it actually means. Anushka Sharma and Virat Kohli both claim to be vegan, but Anushka has been spotted n number of times having a leather bag. We should not follow fancy concepts that it will bring respect for us in the society. No. If we really feel for that purpose only, then we should follow it. Otherwise, what is the need? If you want to have a leather bag, then have it with confidence, and that's it. If you want to consume vegetarian, non-vegetarian food, you want to be an vegetarian also, it's your choice. What is the debate? No debate. So I was telling you about public policies in India, the focus, the sustainable development is there. Okay, so this is the focus that shifted from economic growth. It was measured only in what? GDP growth. How much forex reserves we have? What is the per capita income? What is the gross national income? What is the human development index? These were measurable things, but we do not have everything that can be measured. You cannot measure your intellect. No, you cannot measure. You simply think, you simply feel compatible with that person or not. That's it. Similar is the story here. When we talk about sustainable development, for something it might be sustainable, and for other things it might not be sustainable. Sustainability has various aspects. It should not only be recyclable, but it should also be, free from, I told you, free from, anything that takes a toll on the resources of environment. Now, after this concept was brought in sustainable development, 1980s, 1985s. What is the debate right now that we are talking about? Let's focus on the biggest issue that is prevailing worldwide is COVID. A lot of theories came up. How COVID spread, China, etc. This is considered to be a biological war. You understand biological war? You must have seen a lot of Hollywood movies, even before COVID happened, how it is done. Have any of you read this book, Homo sapiens? Okay, so Homo sapiens was written way back. I don't remember the year, but it was written way back. I am forgetting the author also. But anyways, the story that I'm going to tell you is this thing only. It is about the evolution of human beings, how it has evolved, where are we now, and what we will be. Okay, this is the story. It is a very thick book. So now it is written by a very insightful writer. He says that he has predicted long way back that something called as a biological war or biological thing will come up, which will disrupt the whole order of the world. Can you see the prediction? Not only this, but I'm forgetting the name. Bill Clinton. Bill Gates. Yes. Yes, Bill Gates. He also predicted this. That some virus will come up and it will ruin the order of the world. Now, when we talk about biological war and COVID, what I am telling you to, explain is this. We are talking about sustainable development here. Okay, fine. China's economy is not at all sustainable, but they are using their resources in a very concrete manner. Okay. Now coming to this story, I want to tell you this thing that not only sustainable development is required, but right now we require responsible development. Do you think China will ever admit that yes, some kind of virus was made in their lab and it was their fault that they could not convey to the world and it spread like anything? No. Because we as nations are not responsible. Leave China, talk about US. Trump openly advocated that a wall should be made between the US and the Mexico. Why? He was openly advocating racism. Now, can you think of a leader of such a developed nation advocating racism? Don't you think people will get influenced? And will they ever act responsibly? No. You have seen this news, etc. When COVID was there, everyone was asked to sit back at their homes, but the US people they protested. They didn't wear masks and were on roads, killing people, hitting people. This is because it is a cult, personality cult that affects the common people. It is very easy that you get influenced by someone, very easy. But not all of us, or even I also, preach what we teach. Am I true or not? So I am telling you here that sustainable development is there. Okay, it is going on, but it is not truly sustainable, number one. And what we require as of today is responsible development. Rest we will do in next class.
कितने बजे क्लास है?